Happy Halloween, movie reelers, and welcome back to my spin-off series, Rick's Retro Reviews. I'm your host, Movie Reel Rick. Halloween is my favorite holiday, so this week I wanted to talk about one of the most universally beloved paranormal pictures of all time that had audience members around the world asking, when there's something strange in the neighborhood, who are you gonna call? The original Ghostbusters is one of those movies that everybody knows about, but a lot of people have not actually seen, which is a huge tragedy because not only is this movie a classic, but it is one of the greatest films ever made. And I'm going to tell you why. Ghostbusters came out in the summer of 1984 and was the most successful and highest grossing comedies of all time at that point, raking in nearly $300 million, which by today's standards would be nearly $750 million. The Ghostbusters legacy has endured for over 35 years, having inspired a very popular cartoon show that ran from 1986 to 1991, a highly successful theatrical sequel in 1989, a not so successful theatrical reboot in 2016, and endless merchandising, including countless action figures, t-shirts, costumes, video games, comic books, and pretty much anything else you can imagine, currently valued at over $1 billion. And now, another theatrical sequel is set to come out in the summer of 2020, starring the entire original living cast, minus Egon, along with some new faces, including Paul Rudd and Finn Wolfhard, who ironically dressed as a Ghostbuster in the second season of Stranger Things. So now is the perfect time to talk about why this movie is so amazing and why the teaser trailer on YouTube has been viewed over 1 million times. The general premise of the original Ghostbusters centers on a trio of university professors who are fired for having outlandish theories about ghosts, so they go into business for themselves as paranormal investigators and exterminators, taking up residence in an old firehouse. Suddenly, ghosts start popping up everywhere, and there's no one else in the world equipped to handle these menacing spirits, and so the Ghostbusters are born. Spooks, specters, and ghosts continue to plague New York City, leading to an epic showdown at the end in which the fate of the world hangs in the balance. As if this storyline wasn't completely original and compelling enough all on its own, this movie also incorporates more themes and genres than probably any other movie made. First and foremost, it's a sci-fi fantasy flick that was actually nominated for the Oscar for Best Special Effects and won the Saturn Award for Best Fantasy Film. But instead of being dark and scary like most modern sci-fi movies, it's a lighthearted comedy that is consistently hilarious from start to finish. It's an action movie where these guys are busting ghosts using nuclear-powered lasers and doing plenty of property damage along the way. It's also a great buddy movie. Who doesn't want to go live in a firehouse and just hang out with his friends all day? There's major chemistry between Sigourney Weaver and Bill Murray, so there's also a romantic element to the film. The movie promotes and values intelligence as well as entrepreneurship. These guys don't have big muscles or superpowers. Their minds are their superpower. They use their intelligence to invent these amazing things and turn their knowledge into a successful business. They make science cool. This movie is also about redemption and rebirth. These guys are totally disgraced when they get kicked out of the university. They're at rock bottom. But they don't just give up. They find an old rundown firehouse, fix it up. They get an old POS 50s meat wagon and transform it into one of the most iconic movie vehicles of all time. There's also this overarching theme of good versus evil, which always unites humanity across racial and religious lines. And let's not forget it had a #1 hit song named after it, which was also nominated for the Oscar for Best Original Song. But most importantly, it's good. It's a damn good movie. I grew up watching the Ghostbusters cartoon show and eating the Ghostbusters cereal every day before school. And then at recess, my friends and I would go out and pretend to be Ghostbusters. The Ghostbusters legacy was an integral part of my childhood. I loved it as a kid. You can watch it with your kids, or your significant other, or your friends. No matter what kind of movies you're into, you will love Ghostbusters because this is truly a movie for everyone. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed my review, please like and subscribe. And comment below if you love Ghostbusters and if bustin' makes you feel good too. And tune in next week and every week for new reviews on movies and TV shows. Same Rick time, same Rick channel. Thanks for watching Movie Real Rick.